Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
What is music streaming fraud and how rampant is it? This is interesting, especially like in K-pop terms. We have heard a lot of accusations. Let's see what this is.
you know what they should play as a background to this?
What?
No Frauds by Nicki Minaj.
I don't need no
Frauds!
Well, actually, this is very applicable to Drake too. The lawsuit with the UMG and Spotify.
100 million of us use a paid-for music
I don't
subscription.
need no drama when
Feed
you
is flooded
call.
with this is how you trick Spotify.
But is some of that money ending up in the hands of fraudsters?
I was so
Fraudsters.
surprised by the scale.
Streaming has
Oh, that was that
transformed the
Teddy
music
Swift?
business
Look like it, yeah.
and now makes up more than 2/3 of the music industry's global revenue. But in a first-of-its-kind case, one man in the US has been charged with streaming fraud.
He's a musician now facing serious charges, accused of using AI to create and stream music and illegally collect more than $10 million in royalties.
Wow, we didn't hear about
What was
this.
this?
That is so interesting. Wow.
That was in UK or in the
No,
States?
well, they're American, I think.
I
Hold
don't know
up.
them. I don't know
Was
them.
oh, this was 2 weeks ago, so this is a new video. Ooh, what is this? Let's see.
Mike Smith seemed to have made it as an artist. Over 200,000 followers on social media, collabs with big musicians.
Oh, he's an artist.
But now he's facing
Oh.
up to 60 years behind bars if convicted.
60?
He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges. But what is he alleged to have done?
I mean,
60?
listen,
60 for that?
He scammed some people. Well, he scammed some companies, but
60.
60 years for scamming Spotify and UMG? Really?
I guess they said that's money.
Really?
You impacted money.
Who cares?
Those
60 years?
awards.
Give him 5 years or something. 60 years for that? Motherfuckers be killing people and get 25 and get out. Come on, 60 years for that?
Well, to explain that, first we need to understand how making money from music streaming works.
Yeah, you better take
When
your
streaming
bag.
music online took off with platforms like YouTube Music, Spotify, and Apple Music, a new model of how musicians made money had
Using
to be
music
made.
counts
A
too?
Of course, anywhere online you stream, they make money.
percentage of their revenue, mostly generated from ads and subscriptions, gets put into a royalty pool. Now, this is a huge amount of money. It's estimated that over
What
600
is
million
that?
of us use a paid-for
It
music
looks like rice.
subscription.
But green lights, I think this is like fertilizer or something. I don't know.
For example, the world's largest music streaming service, Spotify, paid out $9 billion last year to music rights holders. Let's say each grain of rice represents 70 grand. The number of plays an artist's tracks receive proportionally determines how much they and their record label will receive from the royalty pool. So if my music accounted
Maybe
for
it is
1%
rice.
of streams
She
on a
said it's
platform,
rice.
I'd get around 1%
kind
of the
of rice
money
is this?
in the pool. Now, anyone can upload music to a streaming service and try and generate royalties. There's around 100 million songs just in Spotify's library alone, though some artists complain these royalty models are complex, opaque, and underpays them for their work. But how can people game the system? Well, Mike Smith has been accused of using artificial intelligence to generate hundreds of thousands of songs, and then use bots. These are computer programs that can perform tasks repeatedly and automatically to listen to these songs billions of times, generating royalties for himself.
They don't want to
Doing
see
this,
what
the
happened
FBI
in
claims Mike
K-pop.
made more than $10 million in royalties
Don't let
across
K-pop
a
see
variety
this.
of streaming platforms. That's money that should have gone to honest artists, producers, and record labels, but instead was allegedly diverted to Mike's fraudulent scheme. But how was Mike Smith's alleged scheme discovered?
That
Well, I've
little?
been speaking to
Is that symbol like really that little?
What? The rice?
I guess, yeah. She said like each rice was
I
like
don't know.
70.
I don't know if she counted them. I mean, I
No.
didn't count them.
somebody who thinks he might know the answer.
When I saw his mugshot, it was like
Oh,
on my
that's not him.
screensaver for like 2 months.
This
We
is
just
Jonathan
saw
Hay,
a
a
thicker
music
guy with
publicist who's
glasses.
worked with some impressive names over the years.
Whitney Houston, Rihanna, Nappy
Whitney,
Roots, Twista, Kanye West's
Rihanna.
label, Eminem's label.
Now, Jonathan started working with Mike from around 2012 onwards. He said that Mike had ambitions of becoming an artist and producer himself. So how did that relationship go?
We started hanging out a lot. He wanted us to be producers,
Damn.
Smith and Hay. Mike suggested that we pay rappers, so he spent, a couple $100,000 on getting us rap features. And everything with him was like 100%, legit. And that's where we started developing the TV show One Shot.
One Shot is coming.
Ready for your one shot?
Each week, MCs move on. One will go home with 100K and a record deal.
But
Ooh,
eventually,
cool.
in 2018, Jonathan sensed something sinister might be at play. Jazz singles that would chart one week as #1 would suddenly disappear the next.
Some of the jazz people that I've known were like, that doesn't happen like that. It just went from 1 to 0. I'm like, Mike, what's going on? He was like, I don't know. We lost like our radio. He always had an excuse. And then he did this Christian song, right? That's called Beautiful Day. And we were getting streams
It's
from like
Beautiful,
Vietnam,
beautiful,
Pakistan. And it's like, okay,
beautiful day.
what? So then I talked to Mike about it. Mike was like, oh, it's just beta from Spotify. Then all of a sudden, all of our music started coming down. And I would get messages from TuneCore. Your music is taken down because of streaming fraud. Then DistroKid shut us down. Streaming fraud. Lander shut us down. Streaming fraud.
Jonathan showed me emails where he unsuccessfully.
So I
That's
guess-
unfortunate. He didn't know.
Yeah, those are all the platforms to which you submit your stuff to be put on Spotify, I guess, to distribute it. Oh, so interesting how this music industry works. I didn't know.
Distribution companies, which are services that help artists
Maybe
get
it's
music
'cause he
uploaded
didn't know.
onto streaming sites.
Mhm.
He told me that
Well, he's not liable if he didn't know anything, you know.
at this point, he got the authorities involved.
So I met with the FBI agent in Louisville, Kentucky. He was like, yeah, this is definitely something that we would be interested in. That's when Mike and I broke it off.
It's been alleged that Mike's scheme ended up being much larger than what Jonathan suspected. In an email obtained by the FBI from February 2024, Mike is alleged to have boasted his activity generated $12 million in royalties since 2019. I wanted to speak to Mike Smith to hear his side of the story, but he didn't respond to my request for an interview. He's not with.
So 4 billion streams generates 12 million in royalties. So 1 billion streams is about $3 million in royalties. Not bad.
He's rich.
You know, when we see artists reach a billion streams, that's just off one platform, Spotify. You know, they get streams on other platforms too.
Mhm.
I think not bad. I don't know.
But are you thinking also the fees? The deduction from the
Yeah,
fees?
I think that's after everything. I think that's
Oh.
just straight up cash that you get for your song being there. I think not bad.
And we need to start writing some music.
Yeah, I'll
There's no.
I'll create a beat and you sing. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, no, okay, cool. Yeah.
I wanted to speak to Mike Smith to hear his side of the story, but he didn't respond to my request for an interview. He's not without his supporters, though. Some people online are calling him Robin Hood, saying that what he did was good because streaming services take advantage of artists. And I've tracked down someone who used to work with Mike.
I mean,
I don't think what he did is good, but at the same time, I don't
Yeah.
think that's 60 years worth in prison either.
but wait, I am understanding. Is he fake his own
Yes.
streams?
He basically hurt the music industry. He didn't hurt innocent people.
Mhm.
Well, if you want to say people in music industry is innocent people, sure, but it's not robbing. Not
I remember seeing his name on the list. Can you show me his name on the list and tell
What
me he
list?
robbed somebody? Like,
oh.
where's his song that like is topping the charts that impacted it so bad? Like, people lost their positions. Like,
I don't think it should be 60 years. Pay the money back, serve like a couple years, and that's it. 60 years is way too much for
I
this.
think it's better you pay the money back. Don't
Yeah,
let
no,
him
pay
sit.
the money
Make
back
him work.
definitely. But and you know, give
Work.
some
Gotta
couple of
make
years.
that
But 60
money.
years is crazy.
Who has similar opinions on the case.
Mike Smith is a decent, good guy.
This is Goldilocks, a businesswoman, professional wrestler, and a music artist. Both her and Mike work together on occasion in the music industry, and she has a very different view of working with Mike compared to Jonathan.
Literally, I said, God, I wish there was a way that I could do something to help my colleague because I feel really sick. And literally the next day you were in my DMs. I'm not saying that Mike Smith is Jesus Christ. I'm just saying throughout the world and throughout history, it appears as a human race, there's always somebody that's being used as an example. My feed is flooded with,
I hope they don't do this 60 years business to use him as an example.
this is how you trick Spotify into spinning your song more so that you can get more revenue.
Using bots, do you think it should be illegal? Or
No,
do you
it
think,
shouldn't be
You know,
illegal.
do you think that is fraud?
No, what are you gonna, it's here, it's already here, it's not going anywhere. You might as well figure out a way to use it for your benefit. And you know what? Apparently Mike Smith did. So let's just come down on him because everybody's already using it anyway.
Some musicians are criticizing him because, you know, that's 10 million.
Is it different when the artist does it versus when the people do it, like the fans?
But yeah, she does have a point though. People, it is prevalent in the, at least okay, allegedly it is prevalent. I can't say for allegedly it is. People do that. So what makes him special to get 60 years in prison, you know, over others who allegedly do
If
it?
they caught him, there
No,
could
it's
be
a name.
100 people speeding.
Okay, Lady Gaga.
Speeding on a
artists,
railroad,
like, spread
on the
out.
road,
And I was just
and
wondering
one
what you
gets
would
caught, that one will get a ticket.
kind of say to that.
Yes, if he did something wrong, if it's robbing people, robbing me of what, Beth? I don't get anything anyway. Get anything anyway. That's just it. You have to be just getting ridiculous amounts of anything to see anything.
Many artists like Goldie are unhappy with how little they're paid for streams. But that doesn't change the fact that Mike Smith stands accused of orchestrating a multi-million-dollar fraud and stealing from the royalty pool his fellow artists receive payments from. So how big of a problem is streaming fraud?
I would call the Mike Smith case kindergarten fraud.
This is Andrew
Yeah.
Beatty, CEO
What
of
does that
BeatDat.
mean?
This is like a baby fraud. It's like,
It's still fraud.
no, I agree that it's fraud, and as I said, he should pay the money back and should get some sort of punishment. But in terms of fraud, like when you look at the crypto frauds, the FTX, all that, you compare to this, like that, the what is the guy that Weinstein, is that a fraud, or is that like a no, that's with the sexual abuse, right? There was some sort of guy that from Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, that also put like a lot of people's savings, took a lot of people's savings and shit like that. That's like that to hurting people. This, I don't know who they're hurting. Spotify?
Bernie?
Yes, Bernie Madoff. There you go, yeah.
Startup that aims to detect
New York,
fraud on streaming
not Palm Beach.
platforms.
He moved to Palm Beach eventually.
Oh.
A lot of the professional scammers, they don't want to chart. They don't want to be a famous artist. What they want to do is load millions of songs onto different streaming services and then slowly play each song. So no one notices the song that only has
Yeah.
1,000 plays. No one cares about that song. But if you have enough of those songs generating 1,000 plays, you can make a lot of money. I do not believe the DOJ and the FBI have any illusions that $10 million is like the top of the food chain. I think what the Mike Smith case does is allow them to find someone who they have full jurisdictional control over in the United States to set the precedent they need to go after these more sophisticated, difficult investigations.
So
True.
what now? Mike has been charged with wire fraud conspiracy, and money laundering conspiracy. These are all federal crimes which each carry a maximum sentence of 20 years behind
Wow,
bars.
that's
He's
a
pled
long
not guilty to all charges. We contacted his lawyers about the accusations in this piece.
Is he in jail
and this
right
is
now
what they
or is
told
he at
us.
home?
The indictment is an accusation, and he has not pled guilty to any of the charges. Much of the conduct the indictment alleges, as many articles have reported, has been widespread in the music industry for years. Yet, this alleged conduct has never been criminally prosecuted under these statutes before. This is a unique case, and Mr. Smith looks forward to addressing these novel charges in court.
But if he is convicted,
You know what's wild? How we have never heard of this in the States. We have to watch through a British channel to see this, what's happening in America. Why is it that? That's so crazy to me.
how could this case
I guess
impact
because
the
it's like so small, like people are concerned with eggs.
10 million.
I
yes,
think we're concerned with
yes,
eggs.
guys, because we're concerned about egg prices right now.
Okay, this is not my problem.
Yeah, this is not my problem either, but it's interesting to learn about it.
music industry? We contacted Spotify. They're one of the streaming services Mike is alleged to have used to commit streaming fraud. This is what they told us.
Spotify invests heavily in automated and manual reviews to prevent, detect, and mitigate the impact of artificial streaming on our platform.
They claimed only a small proportion of the royalties paid to Smith came from them. And we can't be sure which platforms Mike Smith may have focused on. But Jonathan is feeling
Oh, so it's not even Spotify. That's somebody else that he defrauded.
So well, okay.
positive about how the case may make waves in the music business.
Maybe
I think
that's
it's
why I got
wonderful.
noticed.
It levels the playing field. Like we're learning about it. We finally have some rules for the first time in music history.
Wow, very, very, very interesting video. Good job.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And it's always share as much kindness as possible.